Hi, friends. Do you know what I just said? This is not a fever dream. It's really us here before you once again. I am indeed JC Darcy, and this is indeed the most wonderful cast of Love in the Time of Mechs. We have returned. We've missed you. We hope you've missed us too. We're so excited to get stuck back into the story. So without much more inane patter from me, let's go. Let's get to it. Let's have my cast introduce themselves and tell you who they're going to be playing this evening. I'm going to do the reverse circle. Oh, the order's changed. Let's start top left just to keep it interesting and fresh. Gask, you are first. Tell us who you are.
Me? Since when? I'm always in the middle, the safe one.
We're mixing it up. We're keeping you on your toes.
Oh God, I'm Gask, the guy with the stash. Yeah, 2 weeks. Took me 2 weeks to come up with that one. I play on a spit take right out the gate. Let's go.
Keep it up.
I'm Gaskinator. I play Fiasco here, our very normal average guy. That isn't sarcasm in the slightest. He's just a guy. And he's just flying about. He's not falling, so that's fun. Love that for him. Unlike other people. And yeah, that's Fiasco's whole story.
Fab. Okay, next up is Angela. No, it's not. That's completely... Wait, it's moved again! Sarah's trying to trick me! Yeah, fine. Okay, let's go around that way. Angela, you are next. We'll do a clockwise motion.
Wait, am I next?
You're next. You're okay. Up. Let's go.
Okay. Hello there, lovelies. It's an absolute pleasure to be back here with possibly my favorite to play with in a very long time. I am Angela. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing our resident leader / gal processing some shit happening, Ariadne, aka call sign Valkyrie. So that is me.
Fantastic, thank you. Anne, you will be next. Tell us about you.
Hi, my name is Anne, and I will be playing Renegade, who likes to hack and likes to shoot guns.
It's that simple. Let's go. Amelia.
Hi, I'm Amelia. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at am_rids_music. And I'm playing Talia, call sign Flatwound, resident melee expert, and unmedicated Taurus, or something, I don't know. She's very stubborn. And literally immobilizes her thing.
I think I'm going to need you to change your Twitter profile to unmedicated Taurus, because that is exceptional. That is wonderful. And that's everybody. Gas, do you want to go again? Should we just keep going?
Yeah, okay, so hi, I'm Gaskinator.
No, it's done. We've fulfilled all contractual obligations. I am, of course, JC Darcy. I still have COVID, so I apologize that I have the husk going on. Thank you for bearing with us. We're just here to have some fun. We hope that's what you're here for too. Also explosions, also gay. Let's go.
I mean, as long as it doesn't keep you away from the Australian accent, it doesn't matter.
I mean, the Australian accent may or may not return today. I couldn't possibly comment.
Oh my God.
Couldn't possibly comment. I'm going to change up the music and bring it back down a bit. If you are just joining us, welcome to episode 4 of this 8-episode run. We have had a couple weeks off, and some people may or may not just need a little catch-up, just a little reminder of what's going on. Obviously, none of them are on screen. Everybody on screen remembers everything that happened. But for you, the viewer, allow me to bring you up to speed. The story so far is that we are following the life and times of a group of lancers, elite pilots, who take their mechanized chassis into places and situations that other mercs cannot. Our 4 friends here, the Harbingers, are an official free company registered and regulated by the monarchy of the Karakan trade baronies. They are free agents, able to take on what jobs they choose, but they're fairly new to this way of life, and they're relatively new to one another. We joined them after completing a routine mission on Bo, the doomed and crumbling home of House Dust. The Harbingers were prepared to return to their ship and move on to the next contract, but a run-in with another team of Lancers slowed down their return. Ultimately, though, it has provided them with their next job. A connection to Ariadne's past has emerged, and asked for the group's help infiltrating the infamous blockade around the planet known as Free Sanjak. Now, in isolation, this request would sound ludicrous, but their new friends and clients have a lead. A hacker known only as Hollow has been quietly hinting possession of a digikey containing a program that would have the power to fry enough network systems to leave a chunk of this orbital blockade non-functional for anywhere up to a week. There'd be more than enough time to make it planetside, locate missing friends, and assess the situation. Now, the Harmagers have taken on that job, though not without a fair amount of rumination over the choice and some revelations about their pasts and personalities. Then, finally making their way back to their base ship, they learned that they have been being watched as they made this choice, and their observers quickly turned assailants when confronted. A messy street fight ensued. There was a shotgun. It was a whole thing. There were legs being broken left, right, and center. But it went fairly well for our team, and they managed to escape, mostly unharmed. During that fight, some of our team were able to identify these agents as being those of House Sand. So at that point, they began making their escape even faster. They mounted up in their mechs, began the low slung climb up the space elevator, and once more found themselves pursued. Once more, they seemed to make short work of the House Sand agents, but a lithe and agile mech put one of our friends in a compromising position, landing a solid kick to the chest of the mech. Our House Sand boy has dislodged Valkyrie, your leader apparent, and knocked her into freefall high above the planet. That is where we will rejoin you as you make an attempt to save your falling leader. The last go was Young Lotus, and so the initiative is back with you. I actually believe...
How big is this space elevator? She's been falling 2 weeks and hasn't hit bottom.
It's just low-key. It's just low-key from one of the Thor movies. I was like, I have been falling for 2 weeks now.
Welcome to the Lancer parable.
Okay.
She's read a couple of good books. She's, had some me time, got to take some time for herself.
Yeah, the
But
first
now-
hour or so, she was like, that got old after a while.
Okay, so
So I throw the initiative back to you guys. You can decide in what order you would like to go.
big guns. Wait, do we want to take care of Young Lotus? Because I can.
Yeah, before they go, and then we can hopefully help out Valkyrie.
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's no one left on the other side, then we can just focus on Valkyrie. That's the idea, right? Okay. In that case, I've been saving this for 2 weeks. Let's go. I would like to... Wait a minute. Where is Young Lotus?
All the way down the bottom.
I am still at the landing page.
That
As
would
am
help
I.
if I would move you over here. There we go. Now you.
Oh no, our beautiful faces.
Sorry.
I mean, I appreciate the phases. Who's falling where? What is happening? Okay, Young Lotus.
So-
Okay, that's me.
There's Bastion. There's Ariadne, and this is Young Lotus.
Okay, wait. Okay, that's really close. Oh
Mm.
no.
But so as a 2D representation, they're really close. But what has happened is Bastion has been knocked. We said 4 spaces off into space. So there's actually quite a decent space between them.
Wait,
And-
two spaces?
4.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
Ah,
So you've got an area of 4 around Young Lotus. If you were doing anything with like a burst or a blast, that won't hit Bastion.
okay.
And as of right now, the freefall hasn't yet commenced. They're kind of on a level.
Okay, the free fall hasn't commenced yet.
Gravity has not yet asserted her hold.
Ah.
It will though, soon.
Okay, so at this point, in this moment in time, has Bastion been yeeted off to the side?
Yes,
'Cause
you
it-
have witnessed the spin kick from Young Lotus crash into the side of her mech and knock her. She was holding onto the chain. She was like hanging above him, and she's been knocked off. She has lost her grip and has been pushed 4 spaces out into the pitch black of space. So
Okay.
as soon as she begins falling, there's nothing underneath her except the planet way down there.
That's kid
Fine. It's all fine.
Actually, it will be all fine. I'm gonna use my Cyclone Pulse Rifle.
That'll be fine. Is that loaded?
Well, I haven't unloaded it. That's the question. I haven't shot it yet.
If you haven't used it,
loaded.
then yeah, should be fine.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Click. Wait, what do you mean it's not loaded? We haven't used it.
I felt like you'd used it.
Well, I used it on the last combat, but we hadn't had combat. Like in this combat, I haven't used it yet. Okay. I don't think.
In that case, you would be okay. It would like reload when you did a full repair. You did get full repairs.
So I did get full repairs. And that's what I thought. Okay.
When you upgrade, because you upgraded license level, so when all that work was getting done, you got full repair. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be able to lock on. No. Let's just do it. Okay, I'm gonna roll for this.
Go for it.
It's reliable 5. I'm not worried. Let's go.
Is a hit. A good hit. A fine
hit. Wait a
hit.
minute, is that? Okay, no wait, is that the damage Young Lotus is taking?
15 damage, yes. Hello, this is a Cyclone Pulse Rifle. This is why it's loaded. And this is why it's one of the best guns in the game.
And
this is
a
what
peek
it does.
behind the screen, you said that they had how much HP left?
Fine, don't worry
Not
about
15.
Just.
So Young Lotus like takes this last flying kick. I've just accidentally deleted Firestorm instead of him. And you can see, you can't read the expression on a mech, but you know enough about mech fights to know what people are thinking, to see the sort of tactics happening as you're going along. He was ready to bail out. His 2 friends got obliterated. This was his last gas move. He was going to absolutely nail this kick onto Ariadne and then skedaddle. As he turns, as the mech body turns, it just explodes in an absolute cavalcade of lasers and like jet fuel and reactors exploding. Shrapnel everywhere. He didn't even see it coming. So, there's no other side of the initiative order to go, so it's back to all of you guys.
I'm gonna fly.
Now is when Bastion begins to fall.
I'm gonna fly after Bastion. I am at heat 6, so doing this will put me over.
Ooh.
I take 2 stress from that, right?
You only take 1 stress from going over.
Okay, 1 stress. Oh, easy. Okay, yeah. So then you said that they're further out this way, so I'm assuming I can just go diagonally towards them.
Yeah.
And that won't make much of a difference. So that's...
when does that heat kick in, though? Is that as soon as you start your boost, or is it at the end?
Flying system. You take size plus 1 heat, so that would be 2 heat at the end of any of your turns. Perfect. So end of turn. Okay.
So you get to do this, and then you're gonna roll your stress damage.
Yeah. Okay. So I fly towards Bastion. That's 3 movement. My speed is 5, so I can reach them that way. Do I need to make a roll to grab them?
I think we're gonna need to require a bit more movement than that because she's been pushed so far away. Okay. Let me try and figure out the physics of a cone. What's pi again to 6 decimals?
Pi?
What?
Like a circle? You mean like a triangle? You mean you're trying to find the hypotenuse?
I think from where you are, you'll be fine.
I have a question. Do you have your protocol? Wait, you are on the same frame as me, right? So you would have that extra boost?
Yes. Hang on. I'm trying to do the math here. 9 plus 16 is 25. So it would be 5 movement to get to. That's the hypotenuse, right?
Beautiful.
If you
perfect.
said 4 out, 3 down.
You can get that, but that's your movement.
Okay, so then I'd have to boost to go further.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah. And movement, like to boost, is that a quick action or a full action? That's a quick action, right? So I can do it.
Yeah, boosting is a quick action, so you'll have another one.
Okay, so I guess I grab, I boost us back towards the platform if I can.
Yeah, I think she was got full. Yeah, so with one boost, you'll be able to get yourself back. So it's an incredibly quick movement, and this is why they call you Fiasco, because you just shoot all the way down, scoop up the falling bastion like Superman, and shoot all the way back onto the platform. It's done so quickly that by the time you land, you've still got shrapnel of Young Lotus landing on the platform around you. It looks so
3-point landing.
So badass. So badass.
Oh, this is the coolest I've ever looked. If only my legs weren't broken.
All right, fine. I thought that was going to be more of a challenge, but fine, you've got a flying net.
Yeah, what was the need of a 2 weeks hiatus to drum up hype? Jeez.
That was the only hype that was available to us.
I had a whole bunch of shit planned. I was gonna use one action to fire and see if I could get the momentum to get me closer to the elevator, and then I was gonna use my axe to slash down it and try and slow my descent.
I love it.
And then
I thought I might have had to make a strength check or the equivalent, so I thought I might have failed there.
I think you're the same size, and in terms of the momentum, I think you've done enough math today. That's what I'm saying. It's fine.
Yeah, I calculated the hypotenuse. That's all the math I need to do.
So, if we're playing D&D to give you inspiration, as it is, you don't need to do any more math for today. You are
okay.
You've done the homework. You're excused.
So that puts me at 8 out of 6 heat.
So that will require you to do stress.
Yeah, take a 1d6 roll and determine what happens. Oh god. Yeah, this
Stress
is the roll.
Is a resource. Here we go.
Let's go.
Oh wait, this could actually be a really terrible thing.
It could be
Mech
terrible.
becomes exposed. Oh no.
That is honestly the best one you could have got. Not right now.
Exposed is the. I mean, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
Combat,
my
yes.
mech's ass is showing.
In combat, yes, it's pretty much the worst. But as it stands, where you've got no more combatants on the field, you're fine. You're gonna be fine.
I'm just thinking about Odie being exposed, her butt exposed to the entirety of space.
The entire planet, given that you are on an elevator above it, just mooning this entire world. That's no moon.
Is it a glass elevator?
It's totally exposed. It's just a cable with some platforms hanging off of it.
Oh
no.
It's fine. You're 3 miles up. So yeah.
So
safely deposited on a platform.
That's 1 stress for pilot stress?
No. The stress for pilots and mechs is different. So that one goes on your mech.
Oh, thank God. Let's just say Fiasco is pretty stressed as it is.
I was going to say, if you genuinely feel like this would be a stressful situation for Fiasco, then you can take stress.
Uh-oh, I'm at 4 out of 4 stress, apparently. Oh, wait, no, wait. Oh, no. Never mind. I had 3.
Also, Fiasco's not taking the stress.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. Valkyrie has a thing, doesn't she?
Well, technically, actually, I'm double checking it. I have to stand in defense of you, so I don't think technically it would work unless I did a motivational speech, which I'll happily do, but I don't think it counts in the situation. Not
so pilot stress is more of a narrative thing. That was what you were taking as damage when you were doing the alleyway fight. But we have more than enough rules in place to take damage on mechs, and we enjoy them very much. So.
Perfect.
Perfect 3-point landing. You do the 3-point landing, and then just all of a sudden there's the surge of heat courses throughout your mech as you overheat from the exertion. But I think you're fairly quickly able to get it under control, and we can kill the extremely intense music. And you're left in the afterglow of a job well done. Yet another assassination attempt survived.
Was that intentional afterglow? Just had to make sure. I know what series we're dealing with. We haven't been here a while, but I remember.
Good. It's all coming screaming back to us. That's what we like to hear. You're quiet for the moment. You hear and feel no other assailants coming up the elevator after you. And it just sort of quietly, meticulously carries on doing its job, taking you back up into orbit.
So that was exciting. You know,
What?
usually elevator rides are really boring.
I mean, I'd rather take boring right now than exciting, I guess, but
Okay,
I
so
mean, it was exciting before they came. Remember, Renegade sent us some newspaper clippings about some dead person? I didn't get to read it before he got shot at, though.
okay, the point I was trying to make before we got so rudely shot at was that they can't be looking for me because they think I'm dead.
yeah. Talia, or at least in the Mechs is gonna like raise a finger and then just bring it back down like the meme.
Wow.
I think this is like you just hear I think kind of to represent the like glancing blow, you just hear slightly more static coming through the communication. Like instead of it being like a quiet thing where she appears on your screen, it's like an audible like blip noise happens and she's like, is everybody okay?
Yeah, just a little toasty in here, but other than that, all good.
You did very well, Fiasco. I want to make that very clear. Thank you very
Thanks.
much for blowing up the person trying to knock me all the way to terra firma, Renegade.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Flat One, thank you so much for going with me and trying to lock down that little bugger who's trying to pester us the whole time.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily used to this, and you can see the mech still, like, all the pitting spires or whatever it is, like, from the base, just, like, are spiraling everywhere, like, oh god, it, like, just sticking into the ground, like,
just like Carrie, she, like, just casually goes over and, like, thunk, like, out of any spot that you're stuck out of.
Thanks.
I think we, however, considering how things have gone this on this occasion, will need to reevaluate some things and have a discussion as a group once we get back and are in a safe spot. She's just mildly a little bit more on edge now, considering we've just nearly gotten attacked twice. I think this calls for a group meeting to discuss some things and the future of the group going forward. Okay?
Yeah, so we don't get assassinated thrice.
That would be great. Yeah, if we could get attacked less, that would be incredible.
I think it's about this time that the elevator reaches the platform at the top. We're all able to disembark. You find yourselves on just kind of an open platform up in space. It's like a docking platform and quite large. And around the edges, you can see arrayed like various ships waiting to collect their cargo from off planet. And over on one side, kind of small and dinky, and a little bit. Let's say that it fits in quite well with some of the docking ships, some of the like shipping ships, as it were. But it's actually a lot smaller, intended for passengers as well as mechs. You see your ship, the Epoch. And standing outside of it in a hard suit, you can see a rather large woman, like cross-armed, tapping a foot. And a few seconds after you disembark, you just see like a hand just start waving.
I wave back. But like awkwardly, actually, just dit.
Mechanical wave.
All right, who wants to be the one to say something?
I waved. I did my part.
Not me.
For the love of Pete, she just... We're still in the Mechs, correct? Or are we already disembarked? Okay, she heads up. This is call sign Valkyrie calling in for the Harbingers. We are finally returned back from our mission, and we also may have some recent developments to report. With
you don't have to always be so formal, Ariadne. I know it's you. I can see you all. You have 4 very markedly, objectionably, some might say, easy to pick out mechs. I painted them myself. I can see you, and I just waved at you. Come over.
This is what I get for choosing leadership. I never know what to do.
Yeah. Renegade will just, I don't know, firestorm wherever mechs go, I guess, and disembark, you know. And then when she disembarks, her mech will like personally say hello to Carlisle, like, hey, sup, and then go into the shit.
You're able to, as you approach, Carlisle like has a little personal device. It's just a frame of a device, the bottom left-hand corner, and as you watch, it kind of extrapolates itself and forms into a full tablet. She begins like inputting some data on there, and you can see she presses the final button, and an enormous loading bay door kind of lowers itself on the side of the ship, and forms itself a little ramp, and you're able to walk your mechs straight up and inside. Excuse me. And I apologize that I've been muting myself on Discord every time I cough, but I'm not on Discord, so I apologize you've been hearing me cough. You're able to load yourselves all up, you're able to disembark, to dismount from your mechs. And once everybody is inside, she will again input a sequence and the door will close. And you will hear the all-encompassing hiss as the area begins to decompress. And after a few minutes, she'll give you the thumbs up, pop her own helmet off, and you are able to doff your hard suits as much as you would like. Once the first person who dismounts, the first person who has their helmet off, she immediately walks up to you and just wraps you in a great big bear hug. She's a large, just a big built bear of a woman. She is huge. She's probably like 6 foot tall, 6 foot around, 6 foot deep.
Carlisle? Am I
All of us rushing to get off first.
Wait, is this Carlisle?
This is Carlisle.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Who else sounds like this? There's not 2 people on one ship that sound like this.
Ow. Carlisle, I can take a beating, just not your hugs after a while. Ow.
Get used to it, alright? You okay?
All right.
She like pushes you back and like looks you up and down. She's like visually checking for wounds, for damage, for broken bones.
It's mostly ego. It's
well, that'll
point being
repair.
hurt.
I haven't got any meds for that. I haven't got any patch for that, but it'll repair on its own time. Don't worry about it. And like she'll move on to the next person. You get the exact same treatment. Dandy, it's you. You get the big
my legs.
She looks back and she can see like one leg is like off. She's like, what the fuck did you do?
Oh, I tried to. Oh god, I can't say Sephiroth. I tried to jump on someone out, like stab them from a roof, but they were on the ground. I didn't land too well. I landed well better, later on in the mech.
She doesn't laugh. She doesn't glitch. She just says, "Yeah, that's why they call you Fiasco."
That's why they call me Fiasco.
Moves on to the next person again with a squeeze. Lex, you get in fact, she lifts you up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no. Lex is petite, I guess, like by comparison, and she's just like, this is great.
Sit rep, all good?
Yep, I'm good.
Good. Talia, come here. She starts moving towards you.
Oh no.
I think I'm still bleeding a bit.
Alright, hang on, let me check that. No, it's not coming out your ears. You're fine. It's not coming out your ears, you'll be right.
Now there's just like 2 giant blood stains on both of us. Because I was shot in like the stomach or something, right?
Yeah, and also somebody was shot right in front of you and just kind of evaporated into millions of bits of bone and blood. And most
Oh,
of
right, yeah.
You.
How could I forget that?
How could you forget? Everybody forgets the shotgun incident. They don't know how.
I'm never gonna let you forget.
It's a fairly major moment. But yeah, she looks you all up and down. She ascertains that you're not in any immediate danger of like bleeding out or falling over or vomiting all over her nice clean pod bay floor. Says, right, well done. Job well done. You're all still here, you're all still standing, and you didn't blow up any of my mechs, so I'm happy. Client wasn't 100% happy, but we'll take 80%. We'll take that. You should be proud of yourselves. Well done.
I mean, I guess, but people keep shooting at us, and we don't really want that to happen.
Oh, right, okay. You're in the wrong job then, so will you be shipping out?
I don't mean that. I mean, like, assassination attempts.
Yeah, these ones are kind of mean.
Yeah, rarely people who are very, very nice send people to assassinate you. Rarely people who are nice don't do the assassinating. I'm sorry you've been through it, but this is what you've signed on for.
On the mission, I'm fine. I didn't know that we were still off. I don't.
Did they know you were off? They were on.
Yeah, okay.
You have to sync up timetables for people trying to assassinate you if you want an easy life, Talia. Sorry, this is not the place.
Mm-hmm.
As it stands, I've got all your timetables right here, and she pulls up the frame and doesn't even bother to load it up. She just looks into the blank space and says, you are all due for rack time and decompression, and I will not hear a single word to the contrary. Get yourself some grub, get yourself some kit, get to the med bay if you need to. I know you've had a time of it and you've got things you want to discuss with me and each other. Not till the morning, alright? Alright?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, we can have that. Keep that. Do what you need to do. Take care of yourselves, alright?
Got it.
And she immediately just like turns her back to you and starts shouting out, Breeze, right, let's get these little gobos all cleared up, ready to go back out. And you see a very petite woman in like just the scruffiest, most oil-covered, just raggedy ass engineer's gear come scuttling out from behind a stack of crates of ammo. Just rip off like the worst little kind of salute. And just immediately the both of them just descend on your mechs, start clearing them up, start reloading, start fixing them and repairing them. And that's where those two will be. Leaving you lot to do what you need to do.
Talia's gonna look back and be like, don't mess with the stickers! And then just like run to wherever the showers are or something to get this fucking blood off.
Wait, remind me, did Talia actually get hurt, or was that all like just splatter?
Talia, I believe, got hurt in some capacity, but it wasn't as much as the emotional damage of seeing someone's head explode like a watermelon.
I think it was a gut shot.
No, it was a dead shot.
I think
someone's gut explode like
bad.
a watermelon.
you ran towards someone who was shooting to you. I think you got like clipped in the shoulder or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think in that case, Valkyrie will note to you, go get yourself cleaned up. When you're done and like fully dressed, come to me. I will take care of any additional like tending to with any wounds left over, okay? I have a lot of experience doing this.
Sure. Great. Thanks. And just heads right to clean up, I suppose.
Fiasco,
So
Renegade?
are we doing the emotional team meeting before or after we get some kip? I'm really curious about what kip is. They said it and I didn't understand.
You know what? Why doesn't everyone just get comfortable for a little bit? Why don't we have it as a group later if anyone wants to sit down and talk with me about our situation? Individually, you can. If there's anything you'd like to discuss that you don't want out in the team right away, I'm happy to talk about it. I will happily share any of my details if you want to come ask me, but we'll be meeting as a team later. But until everyone's all fully cleaned up and gotten themselves comfortable, you're dismissed. Okay?
I mean, I can do the rest, but I'm not sure about the comfortable. But Yeah, sure. Let's go.
That's why. Like as everyone's walking away, you just hear her say under her breath, and that's why they call him Fiasco.
I think what Lex is going to do before the whole like big team thing is first of all, I'd like to ask on the Epoch, what is the sleeping situation like? Do we have our own bunks? Are we bunking? Like, what's the situation?
I will unmute myself and tell you all about the Epoch. That is an excellent segue, and you've done this before. So, the Epoch is Carlisle's ship. It is a smaller ship that has been converted from a retired passenger cruise liner, galactic cruise liner. And so she and the crew being herself, you lot, and Breezy, who is the engineer, that's it, have done some modifications, have done some conversions, and you have the mech bay. Obviously that didn't exist before, that was just a cargo bay, and what you all have to yourselves are basically converted passenger suites. So they're fairly nice. They're probably nicer than a lot of Lancers get. They're more than just bog standard. Some of them are a little old or a little busty or a little bit out of date. But basically you will each have your own sort of bedroom suite with which to decorate and personalize as you will. So as each of you head back to your rooms, I would love, and I'm sure everybody would love, to hear what you have done with your rooms and what they now look like.
When Lex goes back to her room, it's essentially she's got like black walls and like white furniture. It's very like simple and nothing too fancy about it. She probably has a desk with some sort of technology, you know, like things that she's tinkering with, maybe one photo on the desk, you know, very clean, very tidy, almost very minimalist because she doesn't have a lot of stuff. But she doesn't stay in her room very long. She kind of like sheds her armor and changes into something more comfortable. For her, it's just a pair of like black leather pants and like a red tank top or whatever, just something that looks very badass looking in her mind. And
I love that that's comfortable in her mind.
Comfortable.
It's just like, get as sexy as possible right now.
Well, I mean, it's more comfortable than armor in any case. Not that her armor is particularly uncomfortable because it's a stealth suit. It's not like, but anyway, her motivation is to go see Talia. So she's gonna head towards Talia's room.
Another excellent segue.
Transition.
What is Talia's room like?
The complete opposite. There's like a really shitty shag rug, just like half ripped posters all over the wall of like probably now defunct techno rock bands or something. Massive bed that has like way too many like pillows and blankets and whatnot. There's like a hastily like spray painted and like stickerified amp in the corner with a really gaudy looking bass, I suppose. Really just kind of a disaster, and it's messy as fuck.
I've gotta know the names of some of these bands.
Jesus.
They've gotta be winners.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna basically rip off of the Primus album, because that's what I did for Southbound Pachyderm. Okay. Hold on, let's find out. Oh, the first one that popped up was Punk Soda. Punk sodas,
love
that's
punk
just-
soda.
Was
Our
that
older
big-
albums like different flavors, like the names of it.
Oh, it's okay. That's not actually the Primus song, but we will go with punk soda.
I love
I-
that.
Punk soda. There's just like a lemon lime. The whole album cover is just clear. It's like the White Album, but you can see through it.
Yo, okay, guys, I think we need to quit the stream right now. I think we're on to
Mhm.
something. Sorry, everyone.
We've got to go follow our calling in life. Oh, amazing. So, into this room full of shag rugs and black lights. Do you just walk straight in, Lex, or are you a knocker? Do you have social graces or no?
Okay, Talia's finished describing her room. Okay,
Yes.
I'm actually gonna knock and be like, hey, Talia, you decent?
I hold on, and like very hastily opens the door. She still has like a towel wrapped around her head. She's wearing like really shitty jeans and a completely ratty t-shirt that
Hey.
also has punk soda on it. But it's in like metal font that you have no idea what it says.
Is their logo like a bottle cap or something?
Somebody
It's
better
like
be drawing this, by the way. I don't know if we have fan artists yet, but we need them. Somebody better be on this.
the mascot is if Thirst Trap was actually a bad person.
That's why you hate him so much.
Oh God. Hey,
Yeah. What's up?
I wanted to check in with you, and she closes the door behind her, and she says,
I'm also looking out the door, like, before you do it to see if anyone's, like, actually swinging by.
so you know that I know, right? You know that I know where you're from.
We talked about this already.
I know, but I'm concerned because now Ariadne and Dandy are gonna want to know about this stuff. First of all, I wanted to let you know that I didn't say anything
I
to
figured.
them,
I know.
but do you have any idea if they're after you for any reason?
I don't. How do I even explain it? It's we are all really fucked up to them, I suppose. So they shouldn't, but also it's House Sand.
Yeah, they're probably concerned about their secrets getting out, whatever
And if
threat
they're
they might
trying-
perceive us to be.
And if they're trying to shoot us, realistically, it's not that bad.
Wait, run that by me again?
If
Because if they're trying to shoot me, then they found out I did some shit. So that's bad for me. But if they're trying to shoot you, how is it not bad?
How do I explain this? It's
You can try.
it's high priorities. I don't know. I can't think words right now. There's a lot going on. I can feel the hangover in my bones building.
That's fair. I just wanted to check in with you because if I need to, cover for you.
You don't need to cover for me. It shouldn't have to come to that.
Well, I mean, I've done as much as I can this far, but just tell me what I need to tell everyone else if there's a need for it, okay? I don't want to go in blind into a team meeting.
I know. It shouldn't be anything, and it's on me, I suppose, so. Don't worry.
Okay, well, we've got your back.
I got yours too, thanks.
Well, it shouldn't have to come to that because everyone's supposed to think that I'm dead. So if someone found out something, then that's my bad. So
I don't really know what to say with that.
I hope that I did my job thoroughly enough to cover my tracks, but we'll see. I just wanted to check in with you really quick because, I know a thing or two about needing to cover things up.
It's gonna be fine. It shouldn't need to be covered up anyways.
Okay. I guess I'll see you later at the big team dinner, team meeting, whatever that is.
Something
I don't know.
like that.
Okay, well, you look a hell of a lot better than you did when we came in. I'll see you later.
I do. Bye. What?
And then she quickly just runs out the door, as if she'd realized something. And then shuts the door behind her, so
there is probably at that point there was about to be a knock and you see Valkyrie outside of Flatwound's room with a medical kit, just basically almost looking like a very buff version of a school, holding a school nurse's kit, but she looks like Private Vasquez from Aliens is my physical reference I'm going to use because yes.
So when Lex leaves the room and Ariadne's there, she's just kind of hey, yeah, she seems okay if you want to check her out. And then she, instead of closing the door now, she just, shuffles off and runs off.
Did Valkyrie get the med kit from her room? And if so, what does the room look like? For all of its smooth segues.
Yeah. If the camera sort of moves if it's transition right before she ends up right outside of Flatwound's room, it's a pretty bare bones kind of room. She has maybe some rugs on a rug on the floor just to make sure it's not too cold when she walks around. She doesn't like being wearing too much because clothing gives her too much sensory stimulation, especially if it's on her feet and such. And she has, I'll say she has 7 little banners put around the room, decorating the walls, that have different color patterns to them. They all seem to have insignias that are not used at all nowadays. They're not used by any common lancers or folks who happen to have worked with mechs before. But there's definitely one that's positioned if her bed is kind of also almost not a 4-poster bed, but at least has a headboard and everything. It's the only thing that's even remotely nice in her room is the bed, because I'm not sleeping uncomfortably, because I know how to treat myself right, at least in that regard. Everything else, no, but in that regard, yes. But she has one banner specifically across the room that does have a little bit more detailed, and it says Bon Voyage on a corner of it. But she's, I think right before she went to get her own personal medical kit, she was pulling out an old box. I think it's a relatively small, a bit bigger than a dice box, but not too much bigger than a dice box, of basically an old style photo album. And just looking through a few photos, and definitely having that like nice camera focusing in on like her holding up one photo of like a definitely younger Valkyrie with a much bigger smile than she has nowadays, just surrounded with like 7 friends. Like one of them is like doing one of the like big noogie like kind of pushes under her head, and like the rest of them are all like it definitely looks like someone, at bare minimum 2 or 3 people are drunk, and it's a very almost raucous kind of thing, but it's very different than how Valkyrie is now. But yeah, that's kind of her room. She doesn't have a lot outside of the banners decorating it. She just seems to keep it mostly for like materials that she needs for work, for anything related to the job. Yeah, she ends up outside Flatwound's room. I can't talk today. I ignore the other word you heard. Ignore it. God damn it.
Oh boy. I'm imagining like as Lex is like distracted trying to open the door, just bumps right into you.
Like, mm-hmm.
Hey there.
Hi.
You can come in.
All right. She's taking a look at a lot of the like other albums and stuff just around your room. I think she catches a glimpse of like 1 or 2 random ones that are like setting sail on seas of bubblegum, or like a bunch of like a weird like techno pop offshoot cover band of the band itself. And she's enjoying herself, and then she like probably sees like 1 or 2 t-shirts off in the corner. I don't know if they're like, if you keep them like in a closet, or if they're like on the floor. I don't know how messy Flatwound is as a person.
There's a closet. They're
There's a
still
closet.
all on the ground. All the hangers are up there, but all the clothes are on the ground.
Mood. Very much mood. She probably sees one that's like from a tour that happened. It's like My Name is Stalactite, and then there's another like pair one that says My Name is Stalagmite, and it's like a pair of t-shirts is supposed to, but they're like pointing at each other. They're like they're like the arrow style ones.
I'm stupid.
Yeah, exactly. It's like those kind of ones, but
The Harrison Armory Warp Rifle Tour.
This bit could go on for ages, but I will not continue it.
That's fine. We got loads of time for this session. You do what you want to do.
But I think she like sets her stuff like next to the bench. She's like, "All right, how are you doing?"
I'm fine. I guess a little shook up from the fight, but otherwise, like, didn't get really that hurt. So,
Well, I can check just to be safe. If that's okay.
I exposed the part of my shoulder that got injured.
Yep, this is. She's doing like it. I think it's closer to like almost like very gentle, almost massaging, and like almost close to like what a physical therapist might be doing to like check how you are, just to make sure. It's like very like deep tissue almost massaging for how for being such a rough person at times. Her hands are still remarkably delicate in how she's like choosing to touch, and just like making sure, and it's just like occasionally pressing at spots to see like, does it hurt here?
No, don't squeeze that hard.
Okay, I'm checking. I promise.
I'm imagining the hot making scene from that one movie. You know which one? Like
Ghost?
Yes.
I'm gonna fanfic writers, go right ahead.
Fan fiction.
Look, if I ever get fan fiction of any AP I've been involved with, that is actually the peak.
That's when you've made it.
That or fan art, I will consider truly like fantastic. But she's just making sure, and she's like, okay, here, let me. And she brings out like just like very simple bandages, but like make sure she like cleans the spot, and it like probably does sting a little bit, like as she's like setting everything down and dressing it.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry if I was abrasive and stuff before.
You don't have to apologize for anything.
Yeah, it's a bad habit.
Talia, I knew you were going to be, let's say, a lot when I picked you for the team.
I've heard that a lot.
How many people have said it positively?
I plead the fifth.
So a lot.
What's the fifth in space?
Fanfic
Space.
writers
Space fifth.
invent the
Space
fifth.
fifth. Look. I will obviously get into more details with everyone else to get when we're all sitting down together. If there is anything you would like to share about why our group suddenly had to deal with this today, you are more than welcome to share it with me if you do not feel comfortable doing so in the group setting. But just so you know, if it isn't clear, regardless of me being leader or not, you're in my group, you're under my care, and that means you're family. That means I'm not gonna like toss you out or say anything that's gonna hopefully make you want to leave this or judge you too harshly if you have baggage.
No, I appreciate it. Historic. I mean, House Sand has dirt on everyone. My family hasn't been the nicest, and House Sand feels the need to keep butting back in for me. I guess I don't really know how to explain it, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Well, I had some well, I guess I can say now have friends who used to tell me the best way to get a lot of it out is to, if you don't know how to say it well, then flail and see what happens. And then once you have that out, then learn how to make it more coherent. But until then, just say what you want. Don't feel pressured to feel like you have to tell me anything. I'm just telling you that you can. But obviously me telling you that I can doesn't automatically mean you have to be comfortable with me, okay? Just know that. Just...
Well, I don't know if I really know how to flail, or if I don't know how to do anything but flail, so I'll try, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, you're all patched up.
Oh.
She does like one last extra, like very soft and very tender squeeze, just to like make sure. Okay, feel that?
Still a bit tender.
Okay. Well, if you want me to come and take a look at it later for whatever reason, let me know. I promise it'll be fine.
You got it. Yeah. That means a lot.
She starts walking out. She looks like she's probably going to be heading towards Fiasco's room
Well,
next.
I was gonna say
Unless you have something else you wanted to do.
No, I was gonna say as Valkyrie leaves, Fiasco knocks
Excellent.
on Talia's door. Knock, knock.
Oh. Yeah, what's up?
Is this my room? Still a little tipsy.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know whether you're flirting with me or genuinely confused.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm looking for my room. I kind of need to throw up a little.
It's right down there.
Awesome. Do you want to hold my mustache back?
Yours is the one with the door that's half broken.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I forgot about the incident.
Valkyrie's just walks over and is like gonna start escorting Fiasco over. But she says as she turned back, she points towards like a couple of the. I think she points towards the Pork Soda like album, or like the Clear album, and she says, if you're looking for a few folks who got kind of inspired by them but are a little bit different, Echoes on Aurora, good group to listen to, and bit of a B-side, but Tommy the Panther is worth a listen to as well, and good bass line, very good bass line. Vocals are a little weird, but really good bass line. You might enjoy it.
Not gonna lie, I'd really just listen to Clear album Gently Weeps over and over. We will continue this.
This bit starts this episode and must continue. There should just be a song reference every episode here on out. I deem it to be a necessity for the stream.
Google, how do you register psychic damage in the Lancer system?
Stress?
Stress! We'll take all of the stress.
Teacher, I know
So
the
do
answer.
I.
Give us stress, please.
She walks Fiasco to his room, which, speaking of Fiasco, what does your room look like when we
Well, the
finally
door's
So
broken.
good, it segues. So good.
The door is slightly tilted and broken from the incident. Once he opens it and goes inside, it's like, yeah, it's like a pristine hotel room that's just been made. Like, not much personalization here. The sheets, you can bounce a quarter off them bad boys. There's most of his personalization would be in his mech with all his little plushies and cutesy charms, because he can't bear to leave any of them at home when they're going exploring. Yeah, he has a desk with like, just, you know, everything sorted out like in little groups. There's a mug on it that has, it's just a plain white mug that had the design or the text "World's Best Lancer," like #1 Lancer on it, but the number like 1 got crossed out and it just says Lancer. You know, it was just a little gift that my buddies at the training, like when we were training, they pitched together to give me that. You know, really nice of them. Then there's, oh my god, the wardrobe, immaculate. There's 7 of the exact same shirt and 7 of the exact same trousers, and then underneath there's a couple pairs of like loafers just in case of emergencies, and then obviously his tidy whities. And obviously his own shag rug. And yeah, there's also, he stole a poster from Talia at one point because there is a hole in the wall that he's trying to cover up. What band it's from? Hang on. Oh god, why did I put myself in this mess? why did I talk?
Magnesium Blimp.
Okay,
my
yeah,
gosh.
Magnesium Blimp.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, that's his room. I think he just kind of walks into it. Is Valkyrie walking into it with him, or is she just leading him there?
She's leading him there, and she's like asking, "Do you mind if I help set you down in your bed, Fiasco?"
No, I'm good. I just need to like splash some water on my face, and then I'm right as rain.
Gotcha.
You know, just clean out my mustache. you know?
Okay. Thank you again for the save earlier today. I really appreciate it.
I mean, what else was I supposed to do? Just let you drop? That'd be pretty rude.
It's true. I'd still appreciate it. I appreciate your part on the team, Gask. I just wanted to make that very clear to you.
I appreciate you appreciating me.
You are a funny man sometimes, Dandy.
That's a new one, but thanks, yeah.
How many times have people encouraged you in your life? I'm genuinely curious.
How many times have you encouraged me?
A few.
Then a few. You know, a few.
Yeah, I think Ariadne is like actually like up to this point has just tried to be relatively like silly and stuff with Fiasco, but like hearing someone actually be like saying it's like, oh no, I've only had like the encouragement you've given me. I'm like, that actually kind of hits her a fair bit. You do know I don't hold anything against you for the incident, right?
I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you did. There's a reason why we don't talk about it beyond calling it the incident.
Fair, but I really don't, like, if I'm being honest.
Oh, that's good to know. I mean, yeah, it's a nice group. No one holds things against you, you know? I've messed up so many times that I haven't got kicked out yet, so I must be doing something right, yeah?
You haven't messed up more than anyone else in the group has.
I mean, there's a reason why they call me Fiasco. I think I've messed up a few more times than most.
Or at least you got blamed for it more than most. There is a difference.
I'm not gonna lie, I think if I get any more vulnerable I might cry, so I'm gonna head to bed.
Why don't you take a good rest, Andy? We can find time to all talk as a group later, okay?
Okay.
I think she struggles for a sec to find the right words, and then she just lands on, I think you've earned a good rest, Andy.
Thanks. I'll get right on it, boss.
You can call me Ari if you want. Dandy.
Okay, Ari. Sir, Ari, ma'am, sir.
She just walks out laughing, but there is a genuine smile on her face as she's just heading over to Renegade's room, just completing the loop with everyone just to see how Renegade is doing.
And Dandy closes the door as best he can and goes to sit on his bed, but before he sits down, he fishes something out of his back pocket and realizes that he still has the sunglasses from earlier. And he just kind of looks at them and goes, maybe today wasn't a complete fiasco. And scene, bitches.
I had stuff, but I can't follow that. Yes, that is scene entirely. Where were you gonna go next, Ariadne? Do you need a minute?
I don't need a minute. I'm a professional. I can carry the desire to start laughing into. I think it's like the Pedro Pascal meme where he's just like into full tears. That's my mood right now.
Yeah.
That's me right now. But she just composes herself and she just goes over to Renegade's room.
All right.
I hear the knock, and I am at the desk, I guess, like my console doing tech stuff, and immediately the reaction is the screens go off, and then the picture frame is like gets knocked down face down on the side, and then she goes up to the door and she says, hey.
Can I come in?
Yeah. And she slowly opens the door. She's like, yeah, sure, come in. And then she'll take the chair at the desk and like sit on it backwards, and then she'll say like, yeah, you can sit on the bed or whatever makes you comfortable.
It's appreciated. How are you doing?
I'm okay, got the job done.
You sure you're really okay?
I mean, it's never really been a problem. It's never gotten in the way of a job. I mean, I'm doing okay.
Is there anything you would like to tell me before we all meet as a group about the situation we've been dealing with today?
I mean, if I had done my job correctly 8 months ago, then I shouldn't be the cause of whatever problems we're having with House. And if they think I'm dead, then there's no reason for them to come after me, right?
Unless there was something with Talia or myself. Or maybe Dandy?
I mean, that's for them to say and not me. I'm sure that if something's come up on their end, they wouldn't want me telling their stuff. So, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I'm surprised it took this long for my past to get as close as it is right now. I didn't think it would catch up with me so quickly. Can I ask you a question?
Go right ahead.
This whole thing with Trixie and Thirst Trap, that whole thing they want us to do. You know, that mission to go help your friend. What happens after that?
What do you mean?
In the ideal situation, what happens after that?
What do you mean?
Are you going to, you know, team up with them? Go back to the friend that left you behind?
Why are you interested in knowing that?
Because it's like what I said. I know what it's like to be left behind. If you have plans, I guess I'd rather know them sooner than later. And besides, if I could go back to the... If I had a chance to go back to the friends I lost, you know, not sure I would stick around.
So, your stated reason is you think I'm going to leave? Is this why you're asking? You think you want to plan professionally for what to do after this point?
I mean, professionally, I'll go wherever there's a job. What I'm saying is I want to prepare emotionally, that's all.
Then just say that.
I'm not really good with feelings, okay? It's fine.
I've gathered as much, Lex.
It doesn't change anything. I'm still gonna do the job. I said I go where you go, and that's not changing. The job is the job. I guess what I'm saying is I wouldn't blame you if you were leaving. If you did leave. I just want to be ready for it, I guess.
Lex, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Do you know what I used to do before I was involved with this particular group?
You were a medic, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's the #1 skill that they don't teach you how to do on the job and that you have to learn real quick or you fail pretty quickly at taking care of people?
What's that?
Making them feel safe enough to actually tell you what's wrong with them. Do you know how many people want to try and tough out situations because they think they need to be strong or they need to be more than what they actually are capable of?
Yeah, I'm sure it happens a lot.
It does. And so I feel like I have a decent read when someone's not. I feel like I've learned a bit to get folks to trust me. And also get a sense when folks don't trust me. So I have to ask, are you doubting my commitment to this team professionally? Or are you worried about something else that you don't want me to leave for other reasons?
It's not that I doubt your commitment. I just... I don't know. I guess I just see an opportunity for you that I don't have for me, which is, you know, to reconnect with someone you thought was lost. I mean, I'm not trying to get rid of you. That's not it. I guess I'm just saying I wouldn't blame you if, you know.
Would you feel more comfortable if you had gotten rid of me because it was your choice and not mine? And you had a say in it?
Not really. Call it a fatal flaw, but I just get attached too easily to people.
She's been keeping a decent amount of distance up to this point, but she does move a bit closer. And you're shorter than she is, right?
Oh yeah, she's maybe like 5'4", 5'5", like just...
Yeah, she's a good like 6 feet.
Yeah, she's tiny.
She like looks down at you and she offers a hug. There is no sense that it is being done with any sense of like, I will avoid you, call later. Anyways, there is no sense of pressure whatsoever. She just seems to like move herself in a way that's a lot more open to you in that moment.
I think what Lex will do is she'll stand up for the hug and just like, as she comes in for the hug, she says, I'm with you no matter where you go. That's not just physically.
Do me a favor, Lex.
Mm-hmm.
Trust that I'm going to be around for however long I want to be. And that if it is something that you did that made me want to go, I will tell you. All right? I'm not going to just suddenly hide some things because I wanted you to not feel bad, or I wanted you to think that you're at fault for any of this.
You can feel her nod in the hug, and then there's like a moment where she just like pulls away from the hug, and you can tell there's a bit of realization in her face. And then she goes to her desk where the picture frame is face down. She'll pick it up and she'll show it to Ari. It's a picture of her with another pilot, tall, like dark haired, like muscular man, and just like, it's less about leaving and more just, fear of losing someone else. And I get that it's part of the job. I don't really talk about it. I just kind of deal with it. But it's not that I'm afraid you'll leave. Okay? And my mech is the only thing that's left. The NHP in my mech is the only thing that's left of my old team before I joined the Harbingers.
In that case, let's make sure whatever this is for you lasts as long as it can.
Yeah. I'm actually working on something in regards to that. Gotta make sure people still think I'm dead. So I'm gonna be working on that tonight. Are we gonna have that group dinner thing?
I think everyone is gonna rest and relax just for a bit, though. Let's give folks some downtime to recover and get it. Let themselves unwind for a bit. We haven't had a break for a little bit, and I think we're in need of one. Okay.
One last question before you leave. What's your deal with House Sam? Do they have something on you?
Nothing serious. I mostly brought it up in the moment because I figured one of you has something that you've done to piss them off, but good leader a good leader makes sure that if there's a mistake that's happened, she'll take the fall for it, and if there's a success, then the whole team knows that they've done really great. But honestly, my own personal thing, I think we might have stole some freight or some supplies from them for another previous job we did for one of the houses, or it might have worked for them. I've lost track of it at this point. It wasn't anything important. It was way too many years ago to matter.
If there's anything I can do to, alleviate that situation,
Don't worry about it. It's from the way they were going after us. I think it's fair to assume it's something about you or Talia, or maybe Dandy. I never know what Dandy's gotten up to. Dandy's a good man. If lacking in social subtleties, he is nevertheless someone who is far more competent than I think a lot of people want to give him credit for, and I think he wants to give himself credit for it.
Well, if there's anything I've learned from the last 6 months, it's a dangerous thing to underestimate Fiasco.
Same thing about Talia. That's why I didn't want to write her off. That's why I wanted her on the team.
Well, I think as someone who's used to working in the shadows, hiding behind bigger allies, they both definitely have their merits and their value on the team, for sure.
And she starts leaving the room, and she gets to the door, and then she like turns around, and if I may be allowed one more movie directorial nod, she kind of like, I imagine the camera like closes in very nicely to her face, like there's a pan over back to your face looking at her, and then it goes back to Ariadne's face, and she says, you too, Lex. You too, Lex. You have way too many nice things about you to say than I could ever really say. And she just heads out and goes to her room, and there's just quiet in her room for a little bit.
Like, as the door closes, Lex says to herself, sometimes I wish I could feel less. And then she goes to her desk and continues working.
And as this is going on, back in your room, Talia, you...
Fuck.
What?
You! Back to Talia's room.
Why is everyone so scared of me?
That was such okay. I've been watching Dimension 20. That was big Izzy Roland waking up being like, fuck. Jesus Christ.
You dry your hair, you moisturize, you take care of yourself, you do your routine, and you get yourself into something comfortable for the evening.
Material girl.
Is there like ice cream in the fridge?
Absolutely. There's champagne, there's like grapes on ice.
No, it's just ice cream.
Just ice cream. What flavor is? No, don't answer that. And as you're moving around your room, it's just one of those things that just doesn't occur to you until it suddenly does, that there is a notification flashing on your personal console.
Oh God.
There's a message waiting for you.
Just one?
Just one.
Oh God.
It's to your personal account.
Real slowly.
Was that boop mark as red?
As an open, yeah.
It opens. It's from the address that you probably expect it to be from. Just a very simple message from Secretariat Zuriel Mazzini. It reads, "We hear you've been spotted with some mercenaries who are currently being courted by Free Sanjak operatives. Report in on your findings ASAP."
Is there like a window I can throw the whole thing out of?
There is, if you want to depressurize the whole ship. So while you weigh up that choice, I think that's a fantastic spot to take a quick break. Let everybody get some water, rehydrate. We're going to check in with everybody and make sure we're all good. We hope you all are as well. Thank you all for being here and dropping your terrible puns in the chat. That's why we love you. We'll be back in 10-15 minutes. do that and then remember it's me. It's me. It's us. We're back. Some people stretched more than others. We hope that you did a proper good job of it, and we hope you're hydrated after all that thirst. So yes. So was that your evening past? Are you going to come together for family dinner? Or are you going to remain doing your own thing, taking some time to decompress? I leave that entirely to you.
I think I think before dinner, depending on how much time there is, I would like to just do something, some kind of check to see if, you know, the hacks and the things she's done in terms of the little lie that she spread and her fake identity, like, you know, she probably would have wanted to check up on that, like, did
Want to see if your cover story is holding tight?
yeah, you know, see how that works.
Okay. What trigger are you putting forward for this?
I don't even think it's a hack. I think it's more of just like a investigate, see what things are like at home situation. Like,
yeah, I think I can go with an investigate for sure. I mean, obviously you're using your skills on the Omninet to do that, but it's the same bonus for either one. So,
mine hasn't. Okay, let me see. Come on, where is the? I know what I'm doing.
It's been a while.
No, I'm a doofus. I accidentally closed the wrong tab. Let me log back onto Foundry.
Oh, numpty.
Okay, so it's just the
just
the
investigate.
Yeah. Because Lex is probably gonna want to check to see what's going on. Like,
is my cover blown? Have I just blown it myself?
Did I mess up? Uh-oh.
Roll +2.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna. Oh, okay. It took a hot minute to roll. Let me just.
The rumor come out. Does Lex is alive?
Okay. Which one is it? Parent narrative. Here we go. Investigate.
There's the boy.
There's no modifiers to this?
No, this is just a flat roll. An 11. Okay. A success, but I think it's unclear just how successful you've been. You finding it hard to track the majority of like the closer sources that you would normally be able to find your way through to. They seem kind of fuzzy or unclear right now, or there's just not a lot of activity that you're able to pick up on. Working in concentric circles back towards the heart of House Sand, you get about halfway and you're clear. There's no indication of any story breaking, any leak happening, any spotting of you that has happened.
Okay.
You get the impression that that's kind of standard though. Like if you were going to be rumbled, it would be somebody really good who would see through it, and that means somebody important. You can't quite pierce to the heart of the espionage network that is working against you.
Yeah. I also just shipped my appearance from my original appearance, so they, even if they did see me, I wouldn't look the same. Okay. I'm gonna let that sit for now because I imagine that takes some time, but like I don't want to be late for dinner. So you see Lex just zoom out of, she like realizes what time it is, like zooms out of her room, like I'm gonna be late for dinner.
Let's pick back up with Talia. How you doing? You doing okay? How's your evening?
You know what? Not great anymore.
You
not
look
great,
great
really. Thank you.
Did you figure out how to make a hole in the spaceship to throw your thing out of without killing all of us?
No, I didn't. Thank you.
Aw, dang. Rooting for you.
Oh shit. Talia's gonna like. Is it like my only what's it called? Like my only communication device across like everything, or like
I think
in Lancer terms, is this like a new iPhone, or at least in our grounded terms?
I have more knowledge of Lancer tech than I do of real world tech, so that metaphor doesn't exactly land with me. I think everything's pretty connected, but I imagine that you have like a private line back home, and that's the one that this person has contacted you on. So I imagine you've got it set up so that it doesn't always ping like across your HUD while you're out doing things, and it's like, I've got this person contained over here. If they're gonna get in contact, that's where I'll find them. So you can connect it, you can bring it with you if you would like, but as it stands, it's just on that device.
I want to get rid of it, but the only way, at least I know how, or maybe Talia, if there's like some tinfoil, basically like wrap it up, like real conspiracy theory, like tinfoil hat stuff. Wrap it up in tinfoil, try to like smash it or break it into bits or something. I don't know if this would constitute, or I don't think this would constitute a roll.
I think that's pretty. It's pretty easy to do, given that it's not going to actually achieve anything.
Yeah.
You are welcome to weave that narrative for yourself, definitely.
But otherwise, now Talia is thinking like, shit. And just try to basically, I don't know if this would be gather information or like buy some time, because with this, she probably knows something else is going to happen. Wants to like either get as much information about what could happen if people are coming, or try to prevent it altogether. If I could like maybe go on the like, we can't go outside because we're in this goddamn spaceship. And she's like all thinking this like as she's like pacing around the deck, trying not to get noticed by anyone to see how much she is actually panicking. I guess could I like word on the street the OmniNet?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
So I'm imagining that you're still occasionally in contact with this person. Obviously, it's a strained relationship with strained communications, but that you're also still in contact with more people from home. So you can absolutely kind of take the temperature. Like, you still visit those GeoCities boards. Like, you still got your Usenet profile. You can keep tabs on these things without kicking up too much of a fuss, definitely. How transphobic are the dice today? Oh no, they're coming around.
Just barely not.
They are progressing. Incredible. Yeah. I mean, what do you want to shoot a message back, or?
No, that's the last thing I want to do on this in the whole universe.
Okay. Okay. Let's say that you still got access to like not quite a group chat, but like a I want to say like the family Facebook page, where you can occasionally kind of like, you've got like a dummy account,
It's the company PR portal.
Right? You can check the schedules, you can see who's working when, so you know when to go in for a free latte. There's not a huge amount of uproar. There is nothing like blaring sirens, we found her, get her, everyone converge. There's none of that. You know your family, you know that they tend to move with precision, but quietly. If they were going to come for you, you probably still wouldn't know about it, but you don't get the impression that that's their plan right now. This is a genuine sort of check-in. Your cover's still intact. They have giving no indication that they believe that you're about to do anything untoward. It seems like a fairly genuine outreach in hope of information.
And that kind would also be interpreted because the Dustmen tried to shoot at us, possibly. Or at least that's a logical leap you could make.
Yeah. Sure. Right. I will just say, I will say, in defense of the Sandmen, you started it. You all fired, like, you are Han Solo right now. You all shot first. This was self-defense from them. They were just observing. You started it. And there was no indication that they were targeting any of the four of you in particular in that situation.
Okay. After like maybe 10 minutes of panicking, you're like, okay, this is fine. It's fine. It's going to be fine. And continue eating the ice cream that we established I was already eating before dinner.
What a rebel.
We had a rough day. You're allowed dessert before dinner.
You're adults. You can do what you like.
And then, I guess, go to dinner as well? I don't know.
Danny, are you going to sleep through dinner, or do you think you're going to be able to rally? Sober yourself
Do we
up
have
a
like
little?
you know, like a bing bong, like an intercom?
Can Lex just run to the door and just knock like dinner time?
A
And then
bing
run.
bong
Yes.
intercom?
You have a bing bong intercom and you call her Lex. 100%.
Dinner time, dinner time.
You also have like personal comms, like you can talk to each other in your brains, basically.
You have big bong
Remember?
personal comms.
To be fair, I feel like Lex would just knock on Danny's door to be obnoxious about it.
I
Totally.
I also want to state for the record, I just said like a team meeting. I didn't expect it to turn into like a full dinner or anything. Everyone else ran with that thread. That was not what I meant. I'm okay with it. I just wanted to be clear. I was just trying to do a team meeting.
Yeah,
Can
the rest of us were
confirm.
hungry.
Can confirm Lancer pilots are 100% motivated by their stomachs. This is canonical.
Look,
Get
I
them
was
dinner and
trying
we'll talk
to
about what you want.
figure out the word for like a dinner bell, but more futuristic. So I went with bing bong, and that's what came out.
And we love that. We love that for you.
Is there a button that just like a doorbell to Danny's?
The door's half broken.
And it just has like an actual bell. There's like a brass bell that you have to ring.
I ring Danny's bell. I'm just like, wake up, sleepyhead! It's dinner time.
It plays an obnoxious song, whatever, like, or not like an obnoxious like note, I guess. Like it's one of those really like high pitched ones.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm up. Hang on. Changes into whatever his matching shirt number 5. You know,
Emergency loafers.
he's having an important meeting. It's his favorite.
As you kind of put yourself back together, Dandy, you notice that you've also got a personal message. This is not on your console. This is on like whatever heads-up display you keep around yourself. You have a personal message.
Uh-oh. I have a feeling I know that this one's gonna be good, but I feel like I'm not gonna react good either way.
I have no idea how you could possibly react to any of this.
So I'm gonna play this smarter than Talia and ask, is there red receipts?
Would Dandy have red receipts turned on or off?
No, but like in general, I guess, would they be able to see if can I do like that sneaky, you know, that swipe down where you see what the message is, but you don't actually click into it?
Yeah, you've got like your Discord status set to invisible so you can read the message 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
No,
that.
I don't do that.
I do that. I'm a do not disturb all the time because I can't stand the notification noises.
I can't stand being so popular. It's just too much of a burden. It's from one Dagna She, @ Thirst Trap.
What does this say?
It says, and I will read it in his voice. I have COVID. Hey, I'm sorry if this is too forward. I just wanted to formalize an apology. Trix and I, we crossed some boundaries today, and I feel real terrible about it. It's not an excuse, but like for context, we're just real worried about our friends. And I don't want to say we're desperate, but like we're not far off. We need help, and admitting that is hard for for some of us. Tracking you down and getting you to help, that was a big deal. And I'm just sorry we handled it the way that we did. But you're amazing. You're all amazing. We're really lucky to have you all on the team, on our team. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Hang on. Oh, he stays conscious.
What?
I rolled a survive check.
I did not expect. I did not expect Dagna to message. That's so sweet. Our non-binary pal understands boundaries and stuff. That's kind of cool.
Very much so. Very much so. So.
I'm trying to think of a way to respond to this. Teehee twirls my hair.
That's why they
Twirls
call me
it still.
Fiasco, semicolon, close parentheses.
Is it still marked as not read? Like no read receipts? Are you just gonna leave it hanging?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry, I passed out. Like I fell asleep. Sorry.
Wait, hang on.
You
I got an idea here. I got a vision.
Oh no.
Okay, so clearly he's texting the wrong number. They're talking about business things, right?
Mhm.
I'm not the business guy. So I go to Valkyrie. Hey, I think this message was meant for you.
So, let me be clear. Just so I have a sense of the situation right now, I'm asking this to Darcy. So this is a message from the two folks who we met with at the bar, correct?
This is just from First Draft's personal account. You can see like his profile
Someone
picture.
slid into my DMs and I'm saying it's for you.
Thirst Trap. I fucking love Thirst Trap. Thirst Trap's profile picture, OmniNet profile picture, is a fucking
Is it just the
thirst trap.
chest?
Yeah. Yeah. They're shirtless and they're ripped. Holy shit, they're ripped. And Dandy comes to you and says, "This is clearly for you."
His Dandy's just the Discord emoji, but the Discord logo, but just like shifted slightly. So it's just not perfectly aligned.
It's just like Dandy's is just like he's taking the picture like this, like just auto-filled it.
It just
this game is gonna kill me.
Someone edited it so like as a joke once that it has like, you know, one of those ones that has like a spider or something on it, and every time he sees it he tries to wipe it off and he just hasn't realized yet.
Oh my god.
Dandy, thank you for showing me this, but I'm pretty certain this is actually for you.
But they were apologizing about boundaries and you're the one that got all upset tonight. How long have I been asleep for?
Dandy, and she she directs your eyes to the fact that like it's their personal email. Dandy.
Yeah.
This is also a personal message as well.
Yeah, that's why I showed it to you. It's supposed to be for you, right?
So Lex walks in, joins, is like, "Hey, what's going on?" And she like sits at the table like across from Ari and Dandy. I'm just like, "Hey, what's that?"
Oh, Thirst Trap got the wrong number and sent me a message that was meant for Valkyrie.
Here, let me see.
Okay. Wait, is that okay? Am I allowed to show this to other people?
Lex just looks at it and is just like, "Yeah, he totally wants to bone you. Here you go."
Huh?
Or they totally want to bone you. Okay, here we go.
Huh?
Dagna's he-they. You're all good. He-they pronouns for Dagna.
I didn't.
Yeah, that and she's like, yeah, I don't think it's me in this case, actually.
Huh?
It's you, Dandy. There's a person communicating with you right now among the two from the two people who we met earlier today who would like to possibly have get into a situation we might accurately call a fiasco.
Talia comes in like a tank top and sweatpants, like still eating the ice cream. Like, what about fiasco? Hmm?
Someone wants to get in Fiasco's pants.
Holy shit! I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Have you responded?
No, I don't look at. I make sure not to look at messages so they don't get the red receipts. You know, if people don't know I read them, then they don't expect me to respond, and I can take my time. You know.
Well, I feel like you should respond now.
Huh? Can you type it for me?
Yes. Please.
Okay, here you go. Please type it.
How about
What do you want to say?
I don't know. What do you want to say?
Well, what's your catchphrase?
That's why they call me Fiasco.
I will type out. That's why they call me Fiasco. Close or semicolon. Close parentheses. I'm gonna hit send. Okay.
Doesn't even make sense.
Okay.
Dude.
Is that like enough of a response? Because that's like a long paragraph that they sent.
Well, you
Should
probably
we
would have
type
sent
that's why they
something-
call me Fiasco a few more times so the lens can show?
okay, but I have a question for you, like seriously and genuinely.
Yeah.
How do you feel about what they said, Dandy?
Huh?
Like, how did it make you feel in your, and then she gestures at her chest, like in your heart space?
I mean, I'm constantly having heart palpitations, so that's a non-starter.
Okay.
Dandy, let me try and put this as directly and as simply as I can.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any romantic and or flirtatious interest in Thirst Trap?
Huh?
Okay. I know how to resolve this.
Uh-huh.
Pretend I am Thirst Trap.
Am I still dreaming? Is that what this is? Can I fly?
I tug at your mustache to make sure that it's. Well, wait. No, it's a real mustache. I'm thinking real.
It just goes what? No.
And that's how Fiasco was unmasked.
No,
Does
my
this-
secret.
Does this
I
feel
faked
real?
my own death and then I put on a mustache and nobody knew.
This is not a dream.
Uh-huh.
Pretend that I'm Thirst Trap, and what would you say to me in person?
Here's your sunglasses back. Thanks for letting me borrow them.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Oh, you're really good at this.
I hate it. I say whatever I say. Where's the message again? Oh god.
Uh-huh.
Pretend I said all of this to you in person.
I'm trying to remember what it even said. We've come so far. It said boundaries. It said, sorry if this is too forward. It said, they're desperate.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The
It said I'm
desperate, yeah.
amazing. And then it said, okay, so you say that, and I say, oh well, I'm not in charge of whose job we take anyway, but I'm glad we could help out. And then I say, that's a weird typo you made. You could have just deleted the "you're amazing" part and then put in "you're all amazing,"
Okay, I give up. Someone else, please pick this crap.
No, you were really good. You really embodied the role. I feel like you'd make your, you could do impersonations or something.
Thanks?
Yeah, you're
I can't...
similar enough, I guess.
I'm gonna... This is my dinner now. I'm just pointing to the ice cream. Like, have fun. So what else we first crap?
Well, dinner is whatever you would like to make for yourselves because you do not have a staff. And the evening is yours to decompress as you
Plate of
wish.
beans. Just a plate of beans.
Yes, Ariadne, what were you going to posit?
Sorry.
Come back from the laugh dimension, please.
That's not laugh dimension, that's pain.
They're very close. They're very similar.
Are you okay?
You know what? I think if you said that in character in any remote kind of way, I think you just see, you know what? We haven't had a good meal in ages. She rolls up the non-existent sleeves that she has because the woman does not wear sleeves. She's not going to avoid an outfit that indicates she is a very toned, muscular woman. I am going to make paella because it's delicious. It takes a lot of things, and because I don't want to have to. I want to include a dish that makes people ask, "How in the world did you get all of that seafood and other ingredients necessary?" And it's like, you don't need to know. / you don't want to know who I know. So. Or it's also one of those things where it's like it takes long enough to make that conversation can be being had while she's in the middle of like comments can be made while she's fussing around with like one of the pans. She's like, where the fuck is the saffron? You just see her head like poking underneath like two shelves, and like her entire body's in a cabinet. She's like, where is my saffron? Damn it.
It's a pretty well stocked kitchen. Like you've got food synthesizers to make like fresh things to bring you the stuff that you might not be able to get otherwise, but in terms of like pantry goods, you very well stocked. You can basically make whatever you would want to make.
She makes it's got like everything in it. It's got like squid, mussels, prawns, like very nicely flavored and spiced rice and everything. It's just a bunch of different meats, and she also makes a separate bowl that has just like has been cooked also as well without that. If you have any vegetarian dietary restrictions or whatsoever, she's like, no beans, no plate of beans. She's just
intentionally,
yeah, she just has a look of like, I'm insulted that my group would even remotely anyone in my group would consider that they would not be well fed under my care, because I as a player will not allow any of my characters to be without some sort of cooking experience, because this is a thing that goes into every single game I ever do. Food will be involved.
Talia's just holding the ice cream, now looking really sad. Like, shit.
You can have both.
Talia, when will you ever learn not to spoil your appetite for dinner? Ari makes the best food.
Whatever. This is mental health. I don't know. This is my day off.
I mean, I think you got the right
4
idea.
hours.
Can I have some? I'm kind of processing a lot right now.
Yeah, do you like Rocky Road?
Yeah, it's not spicy, right? And I got all 4!
god.
Okay, but I've had ginger ice cream, which is the only ice cream I could consider spicy.
Okay.
Holy shit.
I give you the ice cream without incident.
Okay, yeah. Are we just sharing the same tub with the
Extra spoon.
You're holding on to it now, bud.
Okay, you sure you don't want
Just
to
take
share?
it, please.
Okay.
Oh, how big is this tub of ice cream that you've handed off to Dandy?
How did you make it?
Is it like a pint?
I was imagining like a pint, yeah.
Okay.
No, you handed over one of the big 2-gallon ones that you serve at like a kid's birthday party.
I handed over the Ben and Jerry's Vermonster of Lancer. It's
Okay.
like a giant.
So-
10-gallon.
While Ariadne's cooking and Dandy is eating his feelings, I guess. Lex is gonna say, so what did you want to talk about with the squad? Ari.
Yeah. I have not been entirely honest with folks about earlier. I haven't explained myself fully to everyone about my reactions from earlier. I want to say again, I apologize for making a scene with folks who were likely, if the group is okay with it, taking on this job, because I think I'll be transparent. I have personal reasons to get involved. One of the people who was mentioned throughout all of that is actually a dear friend of mine who I honestly thought had passed away or had all but disappeared along with the rest of my previous crew. And I honestly thought I was never going to see any of them again. So to kind of just be told by someone that they have kind of been out and about in the world somehow without really trying to get in contact with me as far as I knew, or maybe I just missed them somehow, was a lot to take in, to be honest. So, yeah. That was a lot of the reason for the reaction I had earlier. And I just wanted to be transparent with the things that have been on my mind. I'm thinking it over and finding it that I would rather keep this out in the open rather than just try and bottle it up. Because it's probably not for the best that I keep any of that contained. But I also just want to be clear that a lot of my reasoning for going into this is not necessarily for a professional capacity. I do believe in the work that we would be involved with for breaking down this blockade and such, but this is very much a personal matter for me, at least as far as my investment in going into this. Whatever else we gain from it feels very secondary. That's pretty much it. I wanted to say thank you to everyone. I think so far, despite the hiccups during our first little official mission, with the little encounters we've had since then, I think we're starting to shape up into something that we should all be proud of. And for that, I think it's better in establishing my trust in you that I be honest about these things.
Lex looks at Talia and then looks at Dandy, and then she says, I used to work as an agent of House Sand my existence used to be about collecting information. And my mind was used for the benefit of a government that didn't care about people. And honestly, I think doing this mission, going to free Sanjak, would be more in line with the work that I want to be doing. So, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm still in.
Talia, do you have any bombs you want to drop on us?
I mean, I mentioned it earlier, but my family isn't necessarily the best, and as I said before, House Sand just tries to get dirt on everyone. I guess I just want to be as much of a thorn in their side as possible. I'm still in it, yeah, and it's trying to get away from something that wasn't necessarily good. It's not been easy, but I'm still in it.
Seems like we all have good reasons to do the job then, right?
Yeah. We're all still in it. I take a bite of paella. Holy shit, this is good.
I
Told you.
It's an I told you, I think, at the same time that Lex says it, but it's also like Ariadne's is the one where she's like still like head turned away from the group and is like mixing stuff, and she just like raises like a wooden spoon and is like, told you.
I try and mix the paella and the ice cream.
Oh no!
Is it spicy now?
Is spicy?
It's fishy.
No, why? Are we gonna get like an official rundown of the mission at some point? Ari, do you know? Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
How do we
should be
prepare
able
for this?
to. Yeah, I should be able to just probably contact them and just get the. But let's.
sorry,
Today's been a long.
my brain doesn't turn off, and I'm probably just gonna like hack myself
She
to
like
sleep.
points. She turns around. She points the wooden spoon at you. No apologizing. No apologizing unnecessarily. Okay.
Okay, I figured I might get a head start on.
It's super big mom energy. Like it's that moment of
Yeah,
like
no,
Did-
she's
spit it out.
just like-
It's the big like if the kid's like eating something they're not supposed to. She's like spit it out. It's like that energy. She's like
I just honestly, I have a very active brain, and sometimes I just struggle to fall asleep. So I, do things. I thought I would do something productive, but it's fine. It's fine.
come to
We
my
can
room
talk
and
about
read
it.
and chat or talk or something, or like go just if you want company. I don't really sleep that much.
Do you
at
need
night.
loud music or something?
Yeah, or go to Flatlands room and
Wow.
This-
I
here's what-
envision Lex to be more of like a space EDM gal. Not really so much like not really so much of space metal. Like I don't think Talia's music taste is fits with
Do you-
Lex's necessarily.
So does she like songs like Darude, Dust
Yeah.
Swirl and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Not really into
Yes.
ferrofluidica.
Fluoridica. Like
Stepping in as the GM now to put a stop to this. This is how your evening progresses.
Out of levels, it's stairs.
Okay, how do I mute on somebody else's Zoom call? How do I mute Angela? this is how your evening progresses. It's easy and it's fun and it's like family. This is how you do things. This is how you decompress.
Dance party.
Depends how much you drink. It depends how much you can get Dandy to drink again this evening.
Is Danny still drunk or recovering?
I don't know how long has it been. He did sleep, so I'm
He's
sure he
probably
slept most of it
slept-
off.
He's
probably
slept
just
for
got
a
a
couple
little
of
bit-
hours. It was
Yeah,
already
he's
pretty
probably
late.
got a little hangover or something going on.
I'm not lying. I'm picturing this being like midnight when you're doing this and having this meal. Because time means nothing. It is a weird soup.
Made
and
my
that's
ice
just do what they
cream and
wanna do.
paella.
Spot on.
It's Cascada, like.
Cause every time we touch.
Very
Exactly.
unique fiasco on somebody else's Zoom call. Here we go. But so this is how this is what Carlisle wanted. This when you arrive back, the first thing that Carlisle said was like, "Don't even think about work," because she knows you, Lex. She knows that you're an overactive thinker, and so she told you, "Briefing will be in the morning. We will deal with this new mission in the morning." So even if you try looking for any information about this next mission, she's withholding it from you. She's keeping
She's
it.
like, no, you're
No.
cut off. So
Uh,
so instead, what happens is just Lex, kind of idly like sitting in her room and then turning up this like space EDM or whatever,
Mhm.
and just like.
Just
Okay.
vibing until the early hours. I like it. But so yes, the evening will progress. If there's anything anybody else wants to do overnight, then please let us know. But otherwise, we will go to your briefing the next morning. And
Just
get you some
stare at my
information.
notifications to see if anything pops up.
It does not. Not overnight.
As
Okay.
far as mechanically downtime, is that something that we want to do now, like in the interim over between this?
If you have something that you would like to set in motion now, then yes, by all means. As it was, I was thinking I'd give you the briefing first, and then whatever
Okay, that's-
downtime you have as you start to move towards the next location,
Gotcha.
that's what you can use to.
Okay,
because there might be
I
something
just
you
wanted
want
to get
do
clarity on the
inform that.
order.
No, that's a perfectly fair question. Because there might be information that you don't have yet, there may be resources that you want to gather, and you can use that time to do that. So, the next morning, you have a dedicated briefing room, and Carlisle will ping you all first thing in the morning and summon you there as much as Carlisle ever does a summon. It's basically, all right, morning, I've got pastries, I've got coffee, find me in the meeting room. Let's do this. Hope you all slept well.
Yep.
She's allowed you a bit of a lie-in. It's not super early.
Ariadne has brought in. She wakes up early. She's a morning person when I, as a person, am not. And she's come in and she went rooting around parts of the pantry, but she has set out freshly made biscuits. I'm gonna clarify American biscuits because I know
They're
there's
the
a
best
difference.
kind. They're the best kind.
The American
So-
biscuits. Yes. They're
So-
very nice and fluffy, very buttery, and she also has
Lex-
jams and butter as well with them.
Lex is just double fisting biscuits. Like, morning. She has not stayed up late hours or anything, doing anything because she was told, nah, don't, just take a break. So she's just like, she's wide awake, but like, just having breakfast.
Perfect.
Talia is the embodiment of coffee is my breakfast.
That's so
Right.
funk.
Are they spicy?
Asking us
Fiasco?
about the biscuits.
You could put jalapeno in biscuits.
You could.
No, that's true. That's true. You're right. You're right. I rescind my judgment.
Fiasco, here's just a rule of thumb. If something's
Uh-huh.
spicy, people will tell you. Even if
That's
it's
not
just
been
like
my experience.
it will be obvious. Even if it's just something like slightly thicker mustard.
Listen, we'll look out for you, buddy. We'll make sure
Okay.
no spicy things get into your food, okay?
Okay.
It's fine.
You can
But also,
gather
these
up your
biscuits are delicious.
gather up your coffee and make your way to the meeting room where Carlisle is waiting for you. And as 80 synthwave as this music is, I feel like we have something better for our briefing. And we'll make it up as we go. Let's find a bit of this. And so, absolutely not. Definitely not. That'll do. So you take a seat, and Carlisle stands at the front, in front of a large screen, and says, "Right, I've been in touch with your new clients, the Horizon Ephemera. They seem nice. They seem nice." And she just looks at Dandy and winks. Got a few details. No, don't worry about it. Got a few details for you here. Let's start our briefing, and that should pop up for you all as a lovely briefing screen. Please let it work. Come on, Foundry.
Yo!
There we go. Beautiful.
It says conversation. Is that what that is?
No, you should.
Man, I wish I could read.
Oh.
It should pop up for you all right now. It's like a handout.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. Heck yeah. There you go. Might need to zoom out ever so slightly to get it all in. This screen flickers to life ahead of Carlisle. And she says, "Right, here's the situation as we have it. We're given to understand that you're getting yourselves involved in a little bit of free sandjack action. I can't say that I fully approve, purely for the stakes involved here, but I approve from a moral standpoint. So, whatever you need to help you get through this, we're going to do what we can. Looks like details are thin on the ground. Free Sandjack, until recently held by the House Ludra of House Stone. Bastards, by the way, in case you didn't know. People were kept underground for centuries. There was a big revolution. They were all happy as Larry on the ground there, but House Stone has it blockaded. Nothing goes in, nothing goes out. Resource-rich world, can't sell their stuff, can't make any money. Bit of a problem. Says here that your Bon Voyage and your Vagabond were last seen more than a year ago, involved in skirmishes on the surface. It sounds like they've been involved in a little bit of guerrilla action. We approve. Vivian, and she kind of looks at you, Ariadne, like, is this a person you know? Is this a person I should know? Born in the mines, bought a way out, cheated a way out, probably. And then Perry joined them a few years ago, hell-bent on fighting the injustice perpetrated by House Ludra. Very noble, very stupid. Sounds like they've got themselves in trouble. Hollow, this is your link. This is who you need to find. Hacker and information broker. Unknown allegiance. Hackers usually are. No offense, Renegade. Has been covertly attempting to sell off a digi-key through Omninet fences and intermediaries. That's interesting. Upload that digi-key to the system of the blockade ships, and the systems will be fried. Free passage in and out of a small area for up to a week. They're not messing. That's big tech. That's good stuff. So you need to find this key. Somebody, somewhere on Iridian, Ipasala, and Begum. One of those places has probably got it. Track them down, get hold of the digi-key, and you've got them in your pocket. That's it. Simple, eh?
Yeah. Actually, that doesn't sound too terrible.
Good to hear it. We have a couple of things that we picked up on World available to you. We can load one of you up with some smart ammo, or we can load one of you up with repair redundancy. That is entirely up to you. Mechanically, this is something that you can add on to your mechs. A case of smart ammo will give you all weapons on one mech can be fired as if they are smart weapons. That's worth having.
Oh, yeah.
That's really
But
good.
you might
Someone
like
needs
that one.
to.
That's really
Someone
good.
needs to get on that. I love
And-
smart weapons.
Redundant repair means that you have the ability to stabilize as a free action once per mission.
That's gotta be Seth Ben Pachyderm, right? You're the
Other
one that's got
options.
busted up the most.
It's not a judgment. One of these on
Counterpoint.
one mech. These are unique. Yes.
Oh, dang it. I was going to say that the free action stabilize is perfect for Renegade.
They're both pretty good. That is
They're
only
both
once
very
per mission.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good one to have
A
for a big
reload
mission.
on a Cyclone Pulse rifle for free. It's pretty big.
It's big, like big.
But make a note of those. You don't have to make that decision until you actually drop. Those are available to you. So one of them gives you all weapons on one mech can be fired as if they are smart, and one of them allows you to stabilize as a free action once per mission.
Fiasco
Yes.
firing all smart weapons would be amazing. I'm just putting it out there.
Acquired at great cost to myself, you understand, but for you lot, only the best. So, those three systems, they're a little bit of a travel away. We can begin setting course if you would like, up until the point where we would have to diverge and pick one of the three. It'll give you a day or two. Start doing what research you would like to do, start making your plans. If you can narrow down one of those planets, that'd be great. Otherwise, I suppose we're hopping from one to the other and see if we can find this hollow.
Perfect.
We could do eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
No, I think we can do better than that. This is a little too high stakes to leave it to chance, actually. But I have some ideas.
Well, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. I'll leave that information with you. As always, comms are open. Just try not to get us in any trouble. Pass me those pastries. How dare you? Scoops up a couple.
Okay, that's great. Do we have any thoughts on how we want to proceed? I can do some research, and you can see that Renegade's like systems go up and her visors like over her eyes and then she's just like, I'm ready to go. You know, she gets that excited lit up look in her eyes, like I get to do renegade things. You know, minus the explosions, but you know,
the other renegade.
The other set of renegade things.
So, as Carla says, you have a couple days. Now is a perfect time to start implementing any downtime activities that you would like to use. These could be things that you can do from the ship. They might be things where you need to communicate with other people, get in contact with people, pull in some favors, put in some work, whatever you would like. I thought that I had a cheat sheet written out, but I'm struggling to find it. So, as a very quick rundown, established downtime actions. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say you can look at CompCon. There's a page on it that's super helpful. Let me
There
link.
is. Thanks, CompCon.
Actions at the second half of the page. The bottom half is downtime actions.
There you go. I also think if you've got CompCon open and you put your pilot into active mode, I think you can pull them up from there as well. Might be wrong on that.
Yeah, there's like it's 3 sections. Like the third section just has a bunch of downtime actions.
Yeah.
They're like gray.
So to run them down for people who may be interested in learning how Lancer works and don't have the CompCon in front of them, established actions exist, and they are: seek power at a cost, buy some time, gather information, get a damn drink, get creative, get focused, get organized, get connected, scrounge, and barter. Each thing will ask you to roll a specific trigger. That, like, the trigger is up to you, something that you feel adds to this attempt. And basically you're looking at tiered success. So you will either get what you want at a cost, or really complicate things. if you would like to have a think and a chat, like you're still in the briefing room, you can talk about how you want to approach this, what actions you might want to take. I'm also open to like creating custom downtime if there's something not covered by this, something specific that you want to do. Perfectly open to figuring how we can make that work. But for the next 10 minutes, it's up to you guys to begin planning. Obviously, we can do this, a little bit of this off stream. If people want to decide what they want to roll, we can do that in between sessions. But this is your time to plan.
Darcy.
Hello.
Question. So which of the downtime actions do you think would be more appropriate for this idea?
Okay.
I was hoping, because you mentioned the almost gremlin-esque attitude with which the folks working to do our repairs were approaching our mechs. What would it fall under for me to go and talk with them and be like, so I have a proposition for the lot of you. Would you like to see if we could get a little bit more flight capability on my mech?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I feel like it's either get creative. When you get creative, you tweak something or try to make something new, either a physical item or a piece of software, and once finished, you can use your new creation as reserves. That sounds like it pretty much covers it.
Okay, then
Or...
I think that's kind of what I'm leaning towards in that case.
Okay.
I was hoping, if it makes sense to you, given that I have leader inspire to like try and like help focus them and like to, because especially the way you described it made it sound like they're kind of a little scatterbrained. So just trying to use leader inspire to be like, look, I realize that this is a little bit more complicated or maybe a bit out of your wheelhouse, but I definitely believe like I have been in a similar position to you for years before. I know that everyone underestimates how capable and strong all of you can be.
So, all of you is a phrase that you keep using. And I'm sorry to say that as a team, you have one engineer on board.
Okay,
you're a small team.
I didn't
your
know,
engineer, no, that's fine. Your engineer is a little gentleman called Breezy. You notice them scampering around.
Breezy.
Breezy is adorable. Breezy is trying his damn best. Breezy.
Oh my god, same.
Renegade has probably hung out with Breezy and they've nerded out on things like
Breezy's very quiet. Breezy will let you talk. Breezy will listen to
you
whatever
used scuttling before and now they're scampering. They've really got the whole range.
Gremlin energy. Big gremlin energy. But very very quiet. Very, very rarely speaks.
Renegade has adopted an introvert.
Yeah. The introvert has decided that you are friends now. They're very good at what they do, but you are a small team. You are just getting started and you do lack a lot of materials. And in a lot of things, Breezy is a very good natural engineer, but doesn't have an awful lot of experience. So they really are trying their best, but they haven't let you down yet. I'm assuming
Breezy could never let me down.
In terms of what you're actually looking to gain here, jump jets is an established reserve. During this mission, the mech can fly when moving, but must end moving on land.
That's kind of what I was leaning towards with looking at the equipment. That's because I figure like a full-on like flight system is not. No, I'm not that unrealistic to be like, oh yeah, even if we have our own devoted team, I can inspire them. No, I'm shooting for what's realistic, which is jump jets are still a bit out, like I said, out of their wheelhouse, but something that like could potentially get it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, it's good because it doesn't require, like, obviously you could make some changes. If there's any changes anybody does want to make to their mech, if you want to swap out parts, now's the time to do it. But obviously that takes system points. So if you wanted to keep what you've got and add this on as an extra, then you can absolutely dedicate this role to doing that. I will point out, it does require a 20 plus result to make it work instantly.
No, I know. This is more like this is determining whether it's a possibility and then at the very least starting it.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I'll be
so on a
happy to
9
roll
or
for that
less,
and move on to someone else.
Go for it. We will see the roll and tell you what happens. If it's 20 plus, then I don't have to read out the whole spiel. But it's
Okay,
good to know.
I will shoot for leader inspired to do this, to just try and see, like,
To motivate Breezy to make this
motivate
happen.
Breezy. I believe in you. I believe in you so much. And it works. It was merited.
16. It's good. It's real good. So you make progress. In these few days that you have before you need to narrow down your decisions, you spend basically every waking moment in the bay with Breezy. And you're having a great time, and you're like, you know, that vibe when you've got a project and you're on the crunch, but you're enjoying what you're doing, you're feeling the progress, you're vibing with the camaraderie. You have a great couple days, and like Carlisle brings you down pizza and beers, and occasionally people will come in and help out, lend a hand when they get a chance. You make incredible progress, but you don't quite finish it before this next mission. So you can finish it in your next downtime without having to roll for it, but you're going to need 2 things before you can. You get to choose 2 of this list of 4. You either need quality materials, you either need specific knowledge or techniques, you need specialized tools, or you need a good workspace. So 2 of those things narratively are lacking right now, but you know you can get them by your next mission. And you don't need to answer that right now if you don't want to. You can go away and think about it. It's entirely fair.
I'll think about it. I want to give folks the rest of the time. So
No
that's
problem.
me.
Beautiful. Anybody else? And again, we have got 5-10 minutes left. So if people want to like make a decision, if people want to still think about it, we can do this off stream entirely fine. But if anybody does have anything,
I think I'm very much gonna sit back and see what everyone else does, because Dandy's not a proactive person in the first place.
that's fair.
So here's what I was thinking. Because Renegade is who she is. I would like to essentially lay some groundwork for the mission in terms of like trying to narrow down the destination.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's because any good hacker would leave no trace of themselves. So now you can't really research a hacker because that would be silly. But
it would be if they were trying to remain hidden. But from what you've heard, this person has presented themselves somewhere on the OmniNet. That is how these people have found out about them, because they have this thing and they're trying to offload it. There may be specific places in the OmniNet that you're aware of, like black marketplaces, that people like this would occasionally pop up.
So then what would you recommend as far as trying to build contacts in the black market?
So I think gather information is the obvious one. I think given who you are and what your existing contacts are, power at a cost might be interesting. Putting that one out there.
No. Do you think my crit luck has replenished from 2 weeks ago? Because I feel like all of the shit rolls are going to come now. I'm going to go...
There's also get connected. There's calling in favors and asking for help. So if there's somebody that you feel like you can reliably reach out to, that might be a way to go as well.
I don't know that I... Well, I mean, I don't... See, I don't know if Renegade would. There's a very specific reason for that. So I'm gonna get connected, power at a cost. What was the other one you suggested?
Gather information.
Gather information. Ugh. Okay, you know what?
One of the potential implications, the complications that can arise from these roles. Some of them are really, really good.
Get connected. Do I want to get connected?
I tell you what, I'll leave you with those 3 options. I'm just
it's good to have options. Someone else go.
Yeah, we can make that assessment and we can make the roll off stream. And obviously, I'm going to tell people what we did. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you guess. Talia, any ideas what you might like to do?
I have a question.
Okay.
Because I know for power at a cost, you can get rented gear.
Mm-hmm.
What if I were to go that? I'm not saying I am dead set on it. If I were to go that, what's like the maximum license level of something I could grab? Like, is it just level 1? Could I go all the way to like NHP level stuff?
I will say that I'm not gonna put a limit on you, but just know, I know that you haven't ever been in a game where I've been the GM before, Amelia, but let me tell you, there's an inverse cost. The more powerful a thing you ask for, the more complicated it's going to be, and the more repercussions it's going to have. You want something simple, it's probably going to be pretty easy. You want an NHP? Where the fuck are you going to get an NHP, and how are you going to call in that favor? And oh my god, it's going to bite you in the ass. Risk, rewards.
Here's the problem I face, is that no matter what I do, there's going to be complications.
Mm-hmm.
Forever, always.
Because you're going to roll brilliantly, though.
So it's either...
Factor that in. That's all I'm saying.
It's either, and I'm still choosing, it's either power to cost to see like what kind of thing I can get, or gather information to see like specifically like what House Sand's blockade is like.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think that can be something that we can work out. You can work out in tandem with Anne, and we'll figure out if one of you's going to do one of you could do the other, and see how much you complicate things. Exactly. So, Dandy, having heard all of that, having got a vibe of what your friends are up to, what are you thinking?
Oh, well, I already sent in the chat what I was thinking.
Oh,
I was
perfect. Yeah, if you want to,
I don't think using my downtime to flirt is necessarily the most productive.
I think that would be get connected, definitely, if that's what you want. Hey, look, maybe just know that whatever you choose, like, I'm not going to say, oh, well, that was a fun narrative thing. Now it has no benefit. There'll be if you want to spend your downtime learning to flirt with Thirst Trap, you will increase morale, you will increase team cohesion. Maybe there will be a moment where he swoops in and saves your life where he wouldn't have done before. Who knows? Whatever you want to do, it's gonna either bite you in the ass. This is like
The Last Guardian, where if you pet Trico enough, he'll save you and you're falling to your death.
It's exactly that.
It's exactly that.
How much can you make Thirst Trap want to dive after you?
I'm Fiasco. Everyone should.
Literally, because
how can you resist a stash like this?
Nobody can.
You can. You can't.
All right. Well, on that is a cliffhanger. What is everybody going to do with their downtime? I think that's actually that is basically all the content that I had for this session. So we've timed it really, really well.
Self five, because I can't high five any of you.
So it was all planned. So professional.
Totally. Yeah, so good to be back. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you, everybody in chat, for joining us. God, I love this game. I love the opportunity to be here. Let me just pass it around. I'm going to go the opposite way, have everybody tell you who they are, why they were here, and where you can find them in the long week off between now and next Wednesday. Amelia, that means that you get to start again.
Woohoo. Again, hi, I'm Amelia. I've played Talia, call sign Flatwound, who uses she/her pronouns. You can find me at Twitter at am_rids_music. And if you want to hear more gay Lancer nonsense, I edit and am a player in Bring Your Own Mech, of which our season finale is releasing tomorrow. So if you need to catch up, it's the perfect time. I know Darcy listens. It's a great time. And totally, no one dies. What am I talking about?
And we heard you rolled great during it.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I have better luck here than in that game. So if you like seeing me fail,
that's really saying something. Wonderful, amazing. I can't wait for that, but also I don't want that season to be over because it is the best time. If you're not listening to Bring Your Own Mech, like, holy shit, what are you doing? Go listen to it. It's incredible.
We'll be back.
I know you
eventually.
Will. Anne, hi. No, sorry, Gask. God, I'm sorry. I don't.
Oh
going
yeah,
to bed
because
after this.
they
I'm
changed the
tired.
first time around, and I
Exactly.
got sniped first. Um,
Go ahead, do the thing.
hello, I am Gaskinator. You can find me on Twitter at the links and stuff below. I'm not incredibly active, but I do see what's going on. I am currently in between games with Tav at twitch.tv/Tavernaut. So before it used to be what was it, Blades in the Dark, and now we're going to Scum and Villainy, so another sci-fi production. I'm not playing as much of a male fail in that one, but hopefully I can still get the bitches there too.
Wow. Incredible.
That's all I need. That's my time.
That's marketing. That's selling it. Now everybody wants to go and check out that stream and find out if that's the case. Wonderful, amazing. Angela, speaking of wonderful and amazing, tell us about yourself.
See what you did there.
See what I did there?
Hello there, lovelies. My name is Angela. I have been blessed to be able to bring you Ariadne Belman, call sign Valkyrie, for this session and the rest of our second half of our season, because we're moving into the second half, everybody. We are just a bundle of great, fun, queer joy here. And speaking of queer, not joy, but queer sadness, you can catch me on Thursdays here at Girls Run These Worlds for our Deviants the Renegades game happening, where I play a really sad, anxious being of an oracle character who's having a lot of feelings about being able to look into the past, but being forced to go back and transition to a point before you looked how you wanted to look, and then looking into the future and seeing yourself live to 70. It's a time. It's a lot of queer times, its own thing, people. But if you aren't able to catch me there, you can catch my writing over at both Voice of the Phoenix, where I create games, various Slayers RPG playbooks, and also my first ever game that I released a few months ago called Flame in the Abyss, which is based around doing a 3-person GM-less game talking about grief, memories, and what it means to move on from a great loss. Or you can catch my, I believe at last count is now 240 poems up on my Patreon, half of which are publicly accessible and cover topics from trauma, assault, depression, justice in desperate times, and mostly bittersweet hopefulness. Although I've been told by my partner that a lot of it is very, very vulnerable and very, very disorientingly sad. So, okay, if that's your thing.
I think this is the right market for that. I think you're pitching this exactly correct.
As Gask indicates with the glasses, in a very Milhouse Van Houten-esque way.
Beautiful.
You know those sign flippers that stand outside of like businesses? That's what I'm doing. I'm like saying this way.
Sadness this way.
And
Beautiful.
Also, yeah, and also I will soon be involved with, not as of yet announced, but I'm saying it here anyways because they can't stop me, a Wanderhome game that's happening over in TTRPG, where I will be playing an old lady owl who carries a bunch of shrines on her back and may or may not have made a god dedicated to one of my cousins who passed away when I was a young kid.
That's
in
beautiful.
memory of her, because I am wholesome, god damn it. I am automatically hopefully wholesome. And I swear
Home is one of the most
That's
wholesome
me.
things ever. I will absolutely check it out because that sounds beautiful. Thank you so much. And take us home.
Hi, my name is Anne, aka XO_Girl on Twitter. That's where I live. I also live on this channel, except, holy crap, I only have one show on this channel. I need to change that. On Mondays, I am a Power Ranger over at twitch.tv/fell_strike. And holy crap, I have a bunch of stuff that is yet to be announced, including season 2 of Regency Remixed, maybe? I don't know if I'm allowed to announce that yet. But soon, everyone, I will be making a comeback. Not that I was ever gone. Yeah. That's it for me.
Amazing, wonderful. I'm JC Darcy. I am so constantly blown away that I get this opportunity to play this game with these incredible women in this incredible community. When I'm not here in July, I'm not doing a huge amount else because I'm chilling out. It's called self-care, and I recommend everybody do it. If I'm not here, you can find me on Sundays over on Lost Caravan RPG, where I also play Lancer because I have a problem. Our Necromancers are my favorite table. Sorry, you girls, I love you. It's like right there. Another 20 sessions, and it'll be up there. We're actually not on this Sunday because of reasons. But we will be back the week after, and we're going to go blow stuff up in our new Mechs because we just hit LL5. You girls got a White Witch. I'm stoked. It's going to be great. And otherwise, just come find me on Twitter where I hang out and you know, deal with existential crises in the way we know how. It's called social media. It's a wonderful thing. JCDarcy_. I play games with my friends. You could be that person. Lucky you. Come find me. Follow Girls Run These Worlds on Twitch. Follow Girls Run These Worlds on Twitter. Support everybody you see on your screen. Support this network because they're doing incredible things and we need more of it in the world. God damn it. Right now, we are going to go and support some more friends. We are going to go and raid Starlight Tales, who are playing Dead Zone with Joe from tonight's stream of Roll for Luck. And don't forget, Roll for Luck is on later this evening. So go watch them do that and then come back here and watch D&D. And just stay here. Stay tuned. Keep supporting all these wonderful people. We love you very much. Thank you so much. We will see you next week. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye, everybody.
Bye.